you a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome back to the Clark Griswold YouTube channel. I am Mr. Clark Griswold, and if you are a first timer, then welcome. I'm happy to have you guys here. Happy to have my old subscribers, new subscribers, and if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell, the notification, so you get the notifications when I send out videos like this, when we do the reviews on our setups, when I send out daily setups, when I send out 1 week swing setups for each Monday of the month, when I send out monthly setups for each first day of the month. Okay, informational videos, learning tools, motivational videos, and a bunch of other stuff. You can also follow me on Twitter where I do the same thing, at Mr. Clark Griswold. You can DM me there, you can comment there, you can do the same thing below, comment down below if you have questions. If you think it's a good video, please take some time, just give me a quick thumbs up. If you thought it sucked, feel free to give me a thumbs down, but let me know why, and let me know what I can improve upon to help you guys become better traders, as I feel like why I do these videos is to serve you guys and help you guys on your trading journey, okay? So I feel like everybody's here to serve somebody or something in some way or some manner. I feel like this is what I'm here to do, to help you guys out through your journey. So without further ado, let's jump into it for our weekly swing plays from March 14th, I believe it was, on Monday. I gave you about 20 of them, and we'll rip through them and show you if you guys would have won if you played them. To be honest with you guys, I didn't play them. I took a whole lot of day trades. We had a really great week last week with our day trades, but I didn't take any swing plays. But if we did, let's see how they would have worked out for us, okay? So the first one we're going to look at is Airbnb. This pink line here was our trigger to jump into the play, okay? So we had a 2 down the previous week. So we were looking, and it finished green, okay? So we were looking to go to the upside, okay? And we hit that trigger at 155, and we took it to first targets and almost exactly to the second target, just passed a little bit, okay? And you're wondering, we always put our targets at the top of the wicks. If you're wondering why this one is in the middle, okay, I'll show you why. So when this range is too far apart, too much of a spread, then we go looking for smaller targets or targets in between there. And how do we find those? We just go down in the charts, okay? So we go to the daily chart, and then we go back in time, and then this was our first target here, and we just look for, we just look for the, oh my gosh, we just look for the next target. So here was our first target here, the second target, we find a wick here, okay? And then this was the next one. So that's how we find those targets, okay? And we can do the same thing if they go to the downside. Okay, so let's go to Hood. That's Robinhood, H-O-O-D. And Hood, we had an outside bar last week. Okay, so what happened with this? This pink line was our trigger, okay? We opened at the right here, okay? Just below there. So for me, this probably wouldn't have been a play because we opened below our target, okay? There we go. So we opened below our target. That's not something I probably would have been on for that week, so I probably would have just pushed it aside. If you stayed in it, you probably could have taken money at this target here and then not much more, and then we reversed back up the other way. Okay, and why did we have our trigger down here? Well, we had a 2 up on the previous week, a shooter candle, which was our second thing that we looked at, and it was red, which is the third thing we looked at, okay? But this, you could have made some money on it, but it was likely a failed trade. Next up, IBM. I think this one was also an outside bar. It was. So we opened here. We trended down through our trigger, and then we retraced back to the other side. So this for sure, if you guys were in IBM on swing trades, would have been for sure a you should have got stopped out. You should have had stop losses in place, and you would have been stopped out early on that one. Lucid Group, LCID. Again, this one looks like we opened up or close to at least our trigger. So if you jumped in this one, you had target 1 here and target 2 here. And I guess we can go back and find target 3 here. And then there's not another one on the weekly, so you could have gone back to the day. But Lucid, you could have made some money on if you were in it. And you should have taken your profits. We hit the first 2 targets, and you should have taken money off of this one, and then it reversed. Okay, so Lucid could have made you some money, and if you didn't take your profits, which I always tell you guys to do, you likely got stopped out and got nothing out of it. Okay, Lowe's was up next. So Lowe's had an inside bar. Here's where we opened. We went right through the trigger, and we didn't quite hit this first target here, or did we? It looks like we, and guys, this isn't rocket science. It's not a coincidence. It just is what it is. So we were, if I bring this down just a hair, man, that's tight. So basically hit that target almost to a T. Okay, not much space in between there. 20 cents difference on 236 bucks. So we'll say we hit this target. And again, you guys should have taken money on this, okay? So this would have been your first target here, which would have been small. You could have found some mid-range targets here, but we basically hit that target there, okay? And basically what the targets are, some people call them targets, some call them pivot points, some call them magnitude. They're basically when we're going to the upside, that's where the bears have their stop losses. If we're looking at targets on the bottom side, that's where the bulls have their stop losses, okay? And so we're trying to push through those when we hit them, and if we don't, a lot of times they just reverse back to the other way, okay? Because they get stopped out, and then the price reverses in the opposite direction. Okay, so next up we've got Moderna, mRNA. And so far, guys, if you like what I'm doing here, give me a thumbs up. Just take some time, click it right now while we're doing this. And you can also check out our swing plays for next week if these are interesting you. Just look up here. There's a link up here, and that will take you directly to our 1 week swing plays for March 21st, okay? So this was a big winner here on Moderna. We had our trigger here, which we hit, and then we hit 1, 2, 3, 4 targets at least, and that would have been it. But this was a huge play, guys. 40, call it 146 to 179. So we're 20 some odd bucks there. And that's a good win on a weekly swing. You guys would have killed Moderna if you would have played it. MS was Morgan Stanley, and again, here was another big winner. So I know there's a lot of lines, so the yellows are our day trade triggers, the blue is our monthly, and the pink is our weekly. But again, we hit triggers here, and we hit first targets at least where you should have taken some profit. Could have taken all your profit, doesn't matter, and then it ran up a little bit further later on. So MS was another winner. ORCL is Oracle, another winner. We had this outside bar. We could have triggered to the high or the low. We opened here, came down, and then roaring back up through the 79.99 trigger. No target hit up here, but if you would have gone back onto the, I'm sure, here, let's just mark it down while we're here. Okay, let's go check it out. This is your first target. Okay, then we go to the daily. And let's see if there is something here that we can go back to. There's another one right there. So let's mark that one and see where that one lines up. Okay, so we mark it there. What? We mark it there. Close enough. And then we go back to the weekly chart. And see, even that one wouldn't have hit, but we're close to it. So you should have taken profits on this play, okay? On Oracle. So we'll call that another winner. Plug Power, PLUG. So Plug Power, we had an outside bar. We opened here and we came down, and again, no targets hit, but there was room for you to take profit on this trade. Otherwise, it reversed and came back up and finished green, and you would have got stopped out and your profit would have been gone. And that's part of the reason I always tell you guys to take profits, especially if you only have 1 or 2 contracts. Take that profit. If you have a couple more, take your profit and leave a few runners on. Okay, so now we come into target. Target likely wasn't a winner for anybody unless you decided to take profit early. But we opened here, came down through the trigger. You know, it came down to 204 from 206.80. So you could have probably maybe taken some money there. If you didn't, you would have got stopped out, and we reversed up the other way into the outside bar. Okay, LYFT lift, we had no play, so we had a 2 down that finished green. Had our trigger here on the pink line, but we stayed inside. So this week, lift will be on our play as an inside bar to jump in on. So again, you can check that video out, as I said previously, on our weekly swings. Okay, GE. This is General Electric, had a 2 down that finished green. And look, triggers, gone. Targets, pretty dang close to hitting that first target. And again, you could have taken profits before that on this one, as we had a $2 run on that from $90. So in options, that's a really good play. Okay, NVAX. We had a 2 down that finished green, and again, this one jumped up, but not a whole bunch. Okay, so again, there was our trigger. We came up a bit and then reversed. Still stayed above our trigger. So again, you shouldn't have left this money or left this trade without some sort of a win on your option plays. Okay, that's on NVAX. XEL was the next one. So again, guys, this isn't rocket science what we're teaching here. It's very, very simple stuff, and it doesn't work 100% of the time. It never will. But we play probabilities and we play price action. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here, is price action and probabilities, and that's we're doing what the candlesticks tell us to do. They're telling us when to enter and they're telling us when to exit. And you know, we can exit before if we'd like to take profit, but they are giving us our entry points. Okay, we just have to read the candles, and the more you guys look at this stuff and read the charts and get screen time, the easier it's going to be for you guys. I promise you that. Okay, so here was this shouldn't have been our trigger. Our trigger would have been down here on the weekly. Okay, so we opened up here, came up, and then we rode it all the way back down. We triggered here. Again, no targets hit, but we could have found some intermediate targets in here. Okay, but we triggered, and again, this you could have taken for some good profits on the weekly. Okay, so another win on XEL. XOP. Again, look, we had a 2 up that finished red. Okay, so those are the plays I like to be in. If it's a 2 up and it's red, we're looking for a reversal down. If it's a 2 down and it finishes green, we are looking for a reversal up. And again, it doesn't have to be that way. They'll reverse if they reverse, but it just gives us a higher probability of that happening. Okay, so we opened here and we came roaring down, hit this, and then we rebounded all the way back up. So again, you could have taken profits from this 120 to 115 range, let's call it, and you would have made some good money there. So again, next week, this can be on our weekly plays. We have a 2 down that finished green, and that's what I like to look at, and it's got a hammer candle. A hammer candle basically we have this thick green bar up here, and it could be red, it could be green, but it looks like a hammer. Okay, so we call that a hammer candle, and it's a bullish pattern. Same thing here. This one's red, but it's still a hammer candle. Okay, and if this is the opposite direction, and this little bar is down below, that's going to be a shooter candle, like a hockey stick or a putter, and it's a bearish pattern. And the other thing I like to see here is, look, we have the week, the month, the quarterly, and the yearly are all green. So what I would expect XOP to trend up next week. It's not 100% guarantee, but that's what our indicators are telling us. If you're looking for this indicator, you can go into the indicator tab in TradingView, type in time frame continuity, and it's by Board Rider B as the author. Okay, so that's the one I use. There are multiple ones on there. Next up, BBBY, that's Bed Bath & Beyond. So Bed Bath & Beyond had this big mother red bar here. Okay, and it was a 2 up from here. Okay, so this is a 2 bar, and we finished up above the previous bar. Okay, but it finished red, so I was calling for this to continue back downward and possibly fill this gap. Well, we triggered, we just didn't hit any targets. Okay, and then we rebounded back up. So again, we have a 2 down that finished green. So this is a play that could be on our weeklies for next week, for this to continue to trend up. And as you notice, the week, the month, the quarterly, and the yearly are all green. So that's on BBBY. Okay, those are the weekly swing plays we had for last week, guys. We had a bunch of winners. Okay, we were well over 50% on these. So we're probably closer to 75 if I'm looking at maybe 80-85% range of winners on the setups from last week. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing next week. You're also going to have a daily setup for Monday coming out. Just watch for those guys, and good luck next week, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.